Powerful enough to deliver a surprise poison attack, its lack of accuracy would have made it an unreliable assassination tool unless used by an experienced operative. The history of assassination in China is as old as the country itself. In 221 BC, after 500 years of relentless and ferocious warfare, the country was unified under the Emperor Qin.
In 700 BC, there were about 1,000 independent states. By 220, there was just one left, and that was Qin, which incidentally is where we get the name China from.
It's recorded that the first emperor was at high risk of assassination by his enemies, and that he banned all weapons from the royal palace. But his paranoia left him vulnerable.
The result was that when someone did get close to him with a dagger, no one was able to do anything about it. And the Qin emperor was forced to defend himself with the sword. Unfortunately, he was no swordsman himself, and it took 7 blows to finish the man off.
The attempted killing of Emperor Qin with a poisoned dagger is one of the earliest recorded assassination attempts in history, and set the stage for centuries of subterfuge and covert operations.
The master armourers would have come up with these ideas. There'd be prototypes built, so over a period of perhaps a few months or a few years or even several generations, these things would be honed whereby they would work absolutely perfectly.
Richard has found evidence that a variation of the back crossbow was manufactured in the 11th century. Instead of firing 1 missile, it fired 5 and was secreted in the assassin's sleeve. It was known as the plum arrow launcher.
Because there's 5 shots, the front of the device looks a bit like a stylised plum flower. That's where the name originated. The idea of having a multiple shot weapon was that you wouldn't have to be quite as accurate, so it was a sort of spread gun or scatter gun effect.
The power to launch the 5 arrows came from a spring-loaded piston mechanism.
This device composes 2 main components. The front part contains the guides for the little darts and the trigger mechanism, which is that little thing there. And the main body contains this large helical spring and a piston.
Grooves on the missiles lock into the trigger plate, so when the trigger plate is released, the pressure of the spring fires them towards their target. Richard will load the plum arrow sleeve, ready for testing.
Each of these has to locate fairly accurately inside the recesses in the pistons. And this is the tricky bit where I've got to exert the actual pressure of the main spring. I've got a pretty substantial spring here, so it's taking quite a bit of force. I would think there's probably 30 or 40 pounds force on that spring. There, that's clicked into place.
To test the dispersion from a range of 15 meters, Richard has modified the missiles with paintballs. The assassin needed to ensure that at least one poisonous missile penetrated the skin of the target.
I was quite impressed. I think it gave a better result than I was expecting. The accuracy of the device was quite good. If the head was your target, you'd be looking to get at least one on target.
The tests have revealed that the plum arrow sleeve launcher was an improvement on the back crossbow. Its multiple missile launch system enhanced the assassin's chance of delivering poison to the target. These were just 2 of the lethal weapons that soldiers and martial artists of the East may have had at their disposal. But ironically, one of the most dangerous weapons of all is one that we all have: the human body. Legends tell of a mysterious move that allegedly took hours or days to kill someone. Is it possible that the mythical death touch was all too real? The ancient martial arts are surrounded by myths and legends, but one stands head and shoulders above all others: the so-called death touch.
Dim mak is the ancient Chinese art of inflicting either instant or delayed death by a touch.
Known throughout the world as dim mak, the death touch is an ancient technique that is said to cause knockout, death, and even delayed death using only the hand.
To perform a death touch with dim mak, you don't need a lot of force. It's said that a 9-year-old child has enough strength to perform the techniques.
Many believe that dim mak was devised in the 12th century by Zhang Sanfeng, the martial artist who is credited with developing the original Tai Chi form that is still practiced all over the world. Tai Chi is a set of smooth, flowing exercises used to improve balance, flexibility, and muscle strength. According to the legend, this knowledge spread rapidly and influenced the development of many Chinese martial arts.
What we practice here in Mountain Wudang is a new system of martial arts started by Zhang Sanfen, founder of Tai Chi. He studied all the other styles of martial arts and integrated them with the Taoist theories of keeping healthy, as well as theories of the body's circulation.
This school is located in the mountains of Wudangshan in southern China. Since the 13th century, Taoist temples located high in this 72-peak mountain range have been home to the Grand Masters of Wudang Kung Fu.
Zhang Sanfeng's invention was based on the work of his predecessors. He created a brand new series of martial arts techniques by integrating motion and silence with internal and external exercises.
The ancient temples of Wudang combined meditation with the art of warfare and developed a technique of using internal power to support external movement. Part of the Wudang philosophy is that within the human body there are networks of pathways called meridians. These carry qi, or energy, throughout the body, which can be controlled for use in combat.
The idea that there is qi inside the body is quite a real one. Anything that drives the body, provides a life force, is qi.
The points of a dim mak assault on the body correspond to the qi points, or what we know as acupuncture points.
Dim mak is the art of more or less attacking the qi. It's quite a scientific process and it's based on the theory of Chinese medicine.
Sports scientist and martial arts expert Dr. Michael Kelly has spent years studying the medical effects of dim mak on the human body.
The original founder who linked martial arts and the acupuncture points was said during folklore to have experimented on prisoners and bribed jailers to experiment and see which areas were more vulnerable.
Scientists believe that the effects of dim mak are linked to changes in the body's autonomic nervous system. This system unconsciously controls the blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing.
If for some reason you compress the carotid artery, the autonomic nervous system thinks that the blood pressure is increasing. It doesn't want the blood pressure to increase beyond a dangerous level. So what happens is a reflex slowing of the heart.
As part of his research into the death touch, Dr. Kelly has learnt the ancient techniques. He's able to perform a low-level attack that targets the dim mak points.
Coming in, I'm using the branch of the ulnar nerve to squeeze down and bring him towards me. I'm using my palm to strike as he's fighting up.
A full-blown dim mak assault effectively decreases the blood flow to the internal organs, leading to dysfunction and then failure.
A little bit dizzy, you feel the tingling going through the extremities from the shot, a little dazed. And he's being easy on me, so definitely really put a lot more force in it. There'd be some problems.
It's dim mak's legendary ability to inflict a delayed death that has caused the most skepticism. But could the death touch be a reality?
If we have attacked a particular meridian, it could be up to 22 hours before the qi actually concentrates in that meridian and the maximum effect is felt.
An ancient text attributed to Xu Qi Zai in the 6th century records that delayed death can occur if a vital point in the chest is targeted.
One of the old assassination techniques used would be to inflict an injury on the spleen, such as that wouldn't be detected for a number of days.
If the spleen is attacked, it will start to bleed internally. After a few days, as the blood continues to seep away, the membrane will expand until it bursts.
When it bursts, blood will be released rapidly into the abdominal cavity and death occurs.
As part of his research into dim mak, Dr. Kelly also uses modern scientific equipment to analyze its effect on the human body.
We're going to bring in a Brazilian martial arts expert. Brazilian martial artists are known for their ability to induce a very efficient chokehold, particularly on the carotid sinus or the stomach 9 point, which is considered the dim mak point.
Using an electrocardiogram machine, Dr. Kelly will investigate the effects of dim mak on the electrical activity of the heart.
Let's start monitoring now.
Viewers are warned not to try this at home.
Okay, Fernando, you want to get ready?
Yes.
Fernando Sarmento is a highly trained martial artist who knows how to exert pressure without causing permanent damage.
Okay. Okay. Good morning.
Whoa, I'm out of it.
His heart rate dropped from 110 to 62. What we just saw was significant because the EKG monitor showed a 20-point drop in his heart rate, and the actual loss of consciousness took place in about 4 seconds. Had that gone on further, death would have ensued.
It's only now, using modern science, that researchers such as Dr. Kelly are beginning to unravel the truth behind the legends of the death touch. Yet dim mak is not the only technique that uses the idea of controlling the body's qi. Iron shirt qigong is an ancient practice that is said to strengthen the body's internal energy or qi to protect against injury.
Chinese Qigong is a very profound and precious practice inherited from ancient China. As you nurture and cultivate qi inside your body and strengthen your muscle and bones externally, you can break stone or bricks.
The practice of Qigong goes back thousands of years, but its use in preventing pain remains controversial outside the martial arts world.
The qi energy in the body, we concentrate this energy at a point and it can take punishment over and above what it would normally be able to take.
But could Qigong be more psychological than physical?
It is possible to condition martial artists so that they do feel the pain, but they don't worry about it. You bombard the body with so much stimulus, the person who the pain is being inflicted upon comes to accept it as being normal.
Why do we hear in Chinese martial arts all the time about how powerful softness is? Don't I want to be as hard as rock? If I can make my body elastic, pliable, like the rubber, then when the body is hit, it will simply deform and bounce out again.
But it's not only soft and elastic parts of the body that are said to withstand pain. Qigong practitioners claim to be able to withstand blows to the head. An instantaneous force of over 7 kilos is believed to be enough to cause a simple fracture of the skull.
What I'm going to do now is one of the most difficult of the Iron Shirt Qigong demonstrations. I'm going to put my head in a pile of blocks. The blocks are going to be struck with the hammer so that the whole pile breaks, but hopefully not my head. Whatever you do, under absolutely no circumstances, try this yourself. I've been practicing this art for 28 years and I've had the very best instructors.
Using a 5-kilogram sledgehammer, Ian's team will attempt to smash through 40 centimeters of breeze block without harming him.
3, 2, 1, go. In terms of Qigong practice, obviously what I'm doing is concentrating all my Qi in my head and using the Qi energy to resist injury.
From the myths of dim mak to the mystery of Qigong, the history of the martial arts is littered with legends.